Welcome everyone, my name's Ali. Another day, Tilted Towers is still standing, but Fortnite is still adding more Easter eggs into the game. We've also got code within the game that is hinting at potentially crazy new things to do with the Meteorite and Fortnite Battle Royale. And on top of that, we're going to be talking about how these meteors could contain loot. As they hit the ground, you can open them up just like supply drops, all backed up by in-game files that have been found in Fortnite Battle Royale. We're going to explain it all within this video, and yes, this is me landing at Flush Factory. I honestly think the first time I've landed here in probably 3 or 4 months, but I needed to complete some weekly challenges, which included picking up chests at Flush Factory, so that's why you're seeing me start the game here. And I don't see any action for a little while, but it turns out to be a crazy game, and as always, I'm going for that Victory Royale, so keep an eye on the gameplay as well. So, since yesterday's video where they added onto one of the top of the buildings in Tilted Towers brand new signs, which not only showed Tilted Towers, a UFO, a meteor, and there was also a sign that said today crossed out, and then tomorrow, which is today, the TV that I pointed out and specifically mentioned on the top of that tower has started to give off a signal, and I'm sure you guys have seen this because I've had so many tweets about it all day long, and I want to address exactly what these TVs are trying to tell us and more. If you're new around here, as always, make sure you're subscribing. More importantly, click that bell icon, turn notifications on to see videos straight away. Otherwise, YouTube doesn't always tell you about them. And today is a great video. You're going to want to listen all the way to the end to find out about all of today's meteorite information. So first of all, I was going to say a big thank you to all of you guys. You guys are so on it with all of these changes. I think literally the second this update went live on the game today, where all the TVs started to show this image and emit that noise, I had a swarm of tweets from you guys, so you guys are on it. Thank you very much. But the image itself is now being tweeted out officially by the Fortnite Twitter. There's no caption, it has no text with it at all. It is literally just the image. The image itself is as if a TV station has gone off air, as if basically something has gone wrong. But the more interesting thing is actually the sound that it is emitting. And a big thank you to Prestige Clips. You may know him as an awesome montage collection channel that covers loads of games, including Fortnite. And we often talk on Twitter, and he actually replied to me sharing with you guys, sharing to the world this TV once it was added into the game, and he said that the sound sounds exactly like this video, and he was not wrong. The initial audio bite is exactly the same as this video that's been put together, but it's a mock alarm emergency warning video for a tape, for a reel that would go live, that would emit TVs across the world if a nuclear strike was going to happen. Now, that's not quite a meteor, but in the case of Fortnite Battle Royale, I want to think that a nuclear strike and a meteor strike is probably the biggest thing that we're going to see, so the reason to be worried and the reason to warn everyone on the island is just as big. Essentially, this TV is giving off a warning signal, and it's letting us know that something big is about to happen. Get ready, brace yourselves, get inside, because something, most likely meteors, are about to come down, and something big is going to happen with them. Now, I've tried looking into this image a little bit more. There's a down arrow as a part of the image as well. I've tried to input different buttons to try and make it progress. Maybe it was like a coding system. You press down, then another icon appears. You press left, up, down, right. Nothing would quite activate anything, unfortunately. I also tried manipulating the image to see if there was any hidden text in there. Again, I could not see anything, unfortunately. If you guys look into it a little bit more and see anything, do let me know. Now, the big thing to note for this, and I think this is being overlooked, is the fact that this TV signal and this warning signal isn't just live in the TVs in Tilted Towers. This TV signal is being emitted all over the island. So the whole island is being told, warning, something freaking big is about to happen. If you've seen that meteorite that's been hanging above the sky for the last few weeks, well, you better watch out. Which potentially indicates that Tilted Towers will not be the only target for this meteor or multiple meteors hitting the island itself. The whole of the map could be a potential target. And I want to talk about this a little bit more because I've got a theory of how all of these points I'm going to mention in this video and all the previous videos are going to come together as to exactly what is going to happen in Fortnite. Now, the next big thing that happened today, they got a lot of people freaking out, including myself. Me and Rich were sat on Discord and we were definitely expecting something to happen. So earlier today, I was playing Fortnite and I was taking people on. I was doing really well. And then suddenly I looked in the corner and there was only 4 people left, but the ring was huge. And I was like, this is weird. This has to be one of the quickest games of Fortnite ever. I've never seen this many number of people taken out with the ring still being this big. And there was just loot all over the floor. And then, as you can see on screen here, an error message popped up and it turned out that the servers had gone offline. And everyone started to freak out, including myself. Everyone started to think that Tilted Towers was suddenly going to be patched in as a big demolished site as a meteor came and hit. Fortnite quickly tweeted out saying they were actually doing some maintenance to take the service offline to allow a small amount of people that couldn't access online Fortnite to gain access, basically just allowing everyone to play the game around the world. Although I would say, never trust them if they're trying to cover up big meteorite theories. The fact that they tweeted this out could have just been the cover-up story. It wasn't in the end, but still leaves me a little bit skeptical of the fact that when the servers went down for such a short amount of time, on such a random time of day, they've never taken it down at this kind of time before for such a minimal reason. This definitely could have led to some back-end updates that may have gone live on the server that we would never be able to tell right now, but could become uncovered and reveal themselves as the days go on, as the next week goes on, and ultimately as we lead towards the end of Season 3, which will be ending in exactly 1 week's time as of now. So, with the TV update having gone live today, the server's gone down mysteriously. What is there next to look at? Well, the things that we're going to be looking at now are not in-game. They are files that have been found through data mining, through going through coding. Basically, every time Fortnite has a patch update, tiny little bits of code within the game get updated. I sometimes share these with you guys because they're interesting, but they are extra interesting today. And this is where the theories really begin and we can start to get some tangible information as to what's going on here. So the first piece of information is actually to do with the fact that a load of audio files were added in with yesterday's version 3.6 update for Fortnite. And all of these audio files have some really interesting names. We've got names, for example, like Meteor Alert, Meteor Appear, Meteor Distant, Meteor Falling, and Meteor Land. We've got Meteor Almost Landed, Meteor Exploding, Meteor Falling, and all of these noises from different distances. Just like a supply drop, for example, as it falls towards the ground, it could be right above you, sound really loud, or really far away from you and sound really quiet. And these all audio files have been put into the game just like that in the last update. Obviously, we wouldn't have known about them yet, but they're waiting to be used. Now, I don't want to show you all of these audio files because they're technically hidden away and not meant to be released yet, but I'll play a few of them for you right now and just take a listen to them. They sound pretty scary, they sound pretty devastating. This is what the meteor will sound like once something finally happens to it in Fortnite. They're pretty crazy, right? And as I said, there's so many meteor sound bites that have been put into the game files. It's just a vast amount. So many but it makes it seem like maybe we won't be getting just one big meteor, but rather many in the sky potentially with how many audio bytes they've added in. Now, that's interesting, that's great. I mean, at the moment, it's 100% sure that something will be happening with the meteor, but the whole theory, and I have mentioned this before when I mentioned the UFO theory, the fact that Tilted will necessarily be hit as a target is very much just fan fiction and has been made up. Thus far, until they put the sign on top of Tilted with a little love heart around the building icon, Tilted has almost been just something that we have made up. So let's say, for example, that these meteors are going to act a little bit differently. Well, this is where these in-game files come into play. So we're looking at playlist files here, playlist folders to be specific. Within that folder, we can see modes that we've had before, including snipers, solid gold, high explosive, 50v50, and 5x20. There's a few modes in there that we haven't seen yet, like Sky Supply and Playground. Interesting to see what those are. I know there are a few playgrounds dotted around the map, so it will be cool to see what happens with those. But there's a new one, and it's called Carmine, and it's got Meteor files in it. There's also another one you may recognize called Impact. So let me talk about the Impact mode first. So this impact mode was discovered, and all of these in-game files have actually been data mined by guys on Twitter called @2epicbuddies. I believe they're German. If you're not, guys, I apologize. You're doing a great job at finding all of this information. And it was initially believed that this impact mode would be the mode that actually relates to the Meteor. Included in the coding for that mode was included the word impact, which many people thought related to the actual Meteor impacting and actually hitting the map. But all of these pieces of coding are actually put into its own file called Carmine. Not really sure what that means. The 2epicbuddies Twitter account theorized that the sounds of these meteors sound like they're hitting the map and sound like they're hitting the cars in the map as well, potentially. So car and mine being linked together for one word. So irrelevant of what the actual mode name means, it's the files within there that is interesting. So we've got Athena, supply drop, Meteor. Now Athena is just a code name for the game Fortnite, I believe, so just ignoring that completely. What we're focusing on here is supply drop Meteor. We've also got another name, which is supply drop Meteor metal. We've got plume test rock and rock texture. All of these files sound very much like the meteors hit the ground. We've got plume, we've got smoke, we've got everything that comes out of the meteor after it impacts. We've got rock, obviously, the meteor is a rock. It will emit tiny rocks from hitting the ground, and then the supply drop coding. What does all of this mean? Well, this is my theory, guys. I believe, again, I feel like I'm always saying tomorrow, 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 parodying that sign where today's crossed out and it's always tomorrow. But I do genuinely believe now that tomorrow is when this will all kick off, in my opinion. Everything that we've seen in the in-game files definitely, in my opinion, seems to link towards this. I think that initially, the meteors won't strike, won't destroy, won't actually damage in terms of a vast area any of the Fortnite map. Initially, this would just be lots of meteors coming towards the map, hitting the ground and interacting in the map in a way that we've never seen before. These meteors can be interactive with, and the bigger ones can actually be accessed as supply drops with actual loot inside them, replacing the normal supply drops that come down as balloons that we're used to seeing. Obviously, in the meantime, you've got smaller meteors landing around the map. They could potentially hurt people. If you get hit by one of these and get really unlucky, then you're absolutely screwed. So basically, meteors are interacting with the map in the very first time. Now, all of these files obviously been found within a playlist setting. So potentially, this could all happen within a playlist only. So within the normal modes, it's unaffected. This is all happening within like a controlled environment, if you will. And this will go on and will be available as a game mode, just like last week's 50v50v2 was. From last Thursday to this Thursday, this new mode will be available from tomorrow until the following Thursday, thus finishing up the final week that Season 3 will be around. And then, at the end of that weekly cycle, at the end of the mode, at the end of the meteors, then we will see something big and something impactful happen, which alters the map in a way, and this is where Tilted Towers could very much be hit, and changes the map in a way that leads in and segregates nicely into whatever is happening and whatever the theme is for Season 4 of Fortnite Battle Royale. And I'm so excited for Season 4 of Fortnite Battle Royale. That is the next big thing. We've had the whole space theme for the whole of this season, with this new Meteor theme linking in with the space theme very, very nicely. But it's now time to move over and transition to whatever Season 4 is going to be. And I feel like this Meteor impact will be the perfect transition. We're yet to get any official information on that. I'm very interested to see what it's going to be. I'm sure, just like with last season, we've got that big teaser of the astronaut skydiving down with all the stars behind him. We'll get similar teasers over the next week, and I cannot wait to see what we're going to be getting. But for the moment, that is my theory. Just to summarize quickly, all the TVs around the map have got a brand new visual and audio warning system coming out of them. We have linked that in with audio. That means it is a distress signal, a warning signal, something big is about to happen. On top of that, the servers went down today, potentially for a hidden behind-the-scenes update for something that could be happening tomorrow. And we've also got in-game files that have added in officially sound bites for the meteor hitting the ground, flying through the sky, being close, being far, being near people rather than just floating up in the sky above, and it is all in a brand new playlist folder within Fortnite Battle Royale, and potentially with the hint that the TVs are showing the warning sign all over the map, these meteors will interact all over the map, not just tilted. Well guys, that's my theory, that's all the information we've had today since yesterday, and all we gotta do is wait another day and see what happens, see what new stuff Epic Games teases us, and as always I'll be here relaying the information straight back to you, and you know already, if it is a Meteor mode, I'll be right here jumping into the action, opening up Meteor supply drops and finding out what's inside. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, give it a big fat thumbs up. As always, share your suggestions down below in the comment section. I really hope you've enjoyed. You can check out my Fortnite playlist right now on screen and in the description to see all my other Fortnite videos and all my other Meteorite informational videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.